Yeah.
All right. I want to remove 143rd Street from the plan because it's, right now it's in limbo land. So we need to remove it.
I don't know if it's in
So
limbo.
I'm going to make a motion to remove 143rd Street from the 2030 plan.
So I have a motion to amend by removing 143rd Street from the Transportation Improvement Plan. Is there a second? Second by Oxley. Discussion on the amendment, Member Trenier and then Member Van Dyne. But you're on still.
Yeah, this has been approved through your veto of the proposal, but that's fine. It's been approved. I know there was a lawsuit filed, but my understanding is the lawsuit was failed. It was dismissed. I'm not sure about this concept of limbo land. If somebody could enlighten us about that claim, I'm not aware of limbo land.
Well, maybe not.
I just think that's Mr. Balich's term he's just using. Yes, I don't know. Yeah. Do you want to clarify what limbo land means, Mr. Balich? Hold on, I turned you off
And one
again.
thing, the lawsuit was dismissed, but the state of Illinois, they said they want to have it settled between the county and the village and the people surrounding the village too. They like Mr. Oxley's district, that's included. So Sherry and Mr. Oxley have a big say in it. Then we also have Raquel and Destiny. I think it's Destiny's district over there, right? You know, so we've got a lot of people on the county board that are involved with this. So it's not just 143rd Street for like 2 people. No, it's for a lot of people. And it's already been stalled for 6 months. So I want to remove it because we don't have a determination on it. And so why should we have it in the plan when we more than likely aren't going to have it anymore? Because there's going to be a settlement in my mind. So I'm just asking for a vote to remove it from the plan. That's not a big deal.
Thank you. To
I would-
clarify, I'm going to just clarify too, we like that you're listening to Springfield, but it was just on, I'm quick, Steve. It was just on the quick take, and the quick take piece is not a determinant of whether or not, that's just a process. The vote is still going forward. There's just different processes in regards to working, condemnation is what I believe is. So again, it doesn't, that does not in any way, shape or form stop the project, just to be clear. But
And I haven't seen any order to negotiate or anything like that. If there's such an order out there, I would love to see it. I'd welcome seeing it. We do have a new board. I think we have some new members since that last vote took place. I guess this will be the new vote.
yeah. Okay. So we have we're talking on the amendment. Member Oxley.
Yes, one of the issues is the long-range plan is for funding, you have to submit several years in advance. So now that this has come up, part of this is in Homer Township, part of it's in Homer Glen. Jennifer and staff have met with the mayor of Homer Glen. They don't like it. I particularly don't like it. But it's my district. The other members that are close, it's about a 3.5 mile area. It's going to take up a lot of property. You're going to have houses that are 10 feet from the 4-lane highway, stuff of this nature. You've got a golf course that takes up, I misspoke, there was 121 trees originally taken out. There's 85. Our ordinance alone says we got to put 3 times the trees back. That's 50 trees. And plus the golf course is going to be shortened up by 3 holes, which run parallel to 143rd Street. And I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, I haven't read it, I've been told that originally when this was done, it said if 159th Street is not widened, this would be the next process. Well, 159th Street has been widened all the way to Orland Park. So are we reading the whole thing or not? And then, like I said, I don't know that that's a fact. I've been told that. But
Yeah, I respect what you're saying because sometimes we get told a lot of stuff and we don't
well,
know.
you have
Yeah.
to know what you're doing. And
I know. And
I said-
I believe there's been some conversation with the golf course and we are not taking any of their holes, but I would request that
well,
somebody
you're
come
not
down.
taking, if the plan I saw, you're not taking any of the holes, you're shortening their distance on their side.
Again, I
The
would
holes will still
request that
remain. They just have
someone
to
from the
move.
highway department.
We're not going to go back and forth here. So I appreciate as the chair, you're trying to respond to them, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you have a question there. You just made a comment. I'm assuming.
Comment, yes,
Okay.
Jennifer, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Speaker Van Dyne.
Thank you. In order to, my concern for, and especially for the folks that are fiscally responsible, I'm afraid to take this out of the plan for the simple fact that the county has already invested over $6 million in design on the project. And also we risk the chance of losing $7 million from CMAP, which will also in turn probably cost us thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the near future, because the county will show that they are not committed to projects once they vote on it. And I believe it has been voted and passed. So I would be very careful on removing this from our plan. Thank you.
I'm going to, anyone else who is new, I will go back to repeat. All right. We're going to start with you, Mr. Balich, and then Mr. Oxley.
Okay. Orland Park, the new mayor doesn't want the road. Pico, the old mayor, wanted it. The new mayor says it'll destroy his town. Okay, so that's another problem. So going forward, okay, the Mayor Orland Park said no. Then Mr. Oxley said some stuff about how close it is to the road. Well, we have a school, we actually 3 schools that are going to have to be moved back. So one of the schools just built an addition, and that addition is going to have to be removed. So that's going to be very costly, and it's going to be a pain in the neck for the kids that go there. And then the study was the $6 million everybody's talking about was a federal study. So the study doesn't, it's not, we didn't lose no money yet. So, you know, I'm just saying that removing this from the agenda, from the plan, and I don't like the word plan either, but that's a different issue. Because if we vote for this thing, then everybody in this room is going to be held responsible for what's going to happen in their district. And there's, like I said, I think it's 6 county board members that brought up to this thing. So everybody's involved, Republicans, Democrats. It's not a political issue. It's a people issue. And so if there's going to be a 6-month stall and hopefully we come up with a solution, why on earth we want to leave it in the plan? Just remove it from the plan. It's very simple. So that's all I asked for. And we got a second. And so I hope that we can vote on this thing and end it for God's sake. We can't keep going on this. I don't want to keep talking.
Right. Thank you. We're going to go Member Freeman.
I just wanted to call a question.
Okay. We have a motion to call the question. Is there a second? First off, we are voting to call the question right now. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. Ogalla. Butler. Newquist. Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Brevis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne. 11 yes.
11 in the affirmative. We move to call the question. So now we have a motion by Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, my apologies. Although we have majority, it failed because we need 14 votes. So we will continue with our discussion. We had Member Revis And I will go back to you, Mr. Oxley, then. I'm just trying to get first timers first. They press after I say that.
Thank you, Madam Executive. So we had a pretty robust discussion in committee. I thought we made a amendment to this that we would be including a little line at the bottom, something to the effect of, I know we're not talking about it now, but we're talking about that plan, right? Where there's a motion and a,
We have a motion and second to just remove the plan right now.
okay.
Remove I'm sorry, 143rd Street from the plan.
Okay, so I would need to wait until we get
We had
back to
larger
the original
discussion.
item.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
I'm going to wait till we get back to the original.
Thank you. Mr. Oxley.
Bit confusing here, but I don't know when this plan was started, but since then, Reed School has done an addition, a complete revamp of their bus ramps, the whole front of their building. That would take half of that out. I mean, there's a lot of things that have changed since this plan started. That's something we need to be cognizant about. And again, everybody I've talked to is against it. They don't want it. I don't want to see the property taken for right-of-ways and houses are 10 feet from it, fences are 2 feet from it. I mean, it would look ridiculous. It would ruin a rural area. Thank you.
And I'm just going to say, I want to be cautious about what we say that it's opinion and fact, because I know people have preferences, but we're not taking people's homes on this project at all. Okay, I just want people to I want to understand. Yeah. So we need to be cautious because again, there's accurate information and not accurate information. And if you really do have a question, concern, I highly encourage you to please talk to Jeff or Mr. Ronaldson. Member Ogala.
Thank you. For the new members here, they weren't here before when we had all the conversation. We had hundreds of people come before the board and speak against this, that they do not want this area that is mostly rural. The study showed that in 2040, there'd be 60,000 people living in Homer. It's currently 24,500 people. That hasn't happened. The study also showed that this would be a commercial corridor. It is a residential area, as well as there are many farms along this road. Changing this road from 2 lanes to 5 lanes is going to completely change the whole quality of life for the residents that live out there. What was wanted was to go to just 3 lanes and put in turning lanes and intersection improvements, things like that. That's what the village supported. That's what the people supported. So I think that we really should have a new conversation about this. This should be considered. Studies get done all the time by federal grants to determine whether something should or shouldn't be done. I sat in these meetings. I heard Jeff Ronaldson say that we did do this study. Our plan to do 143rd Street was done just in case the state did not widen 159th. State did widen 159th. We never went back and looked at our plan and said, do we still need to make 143rd Street 5 lanes? We should have done that. We should have done that for the residents since 159th was expanded. We didn't do that. And as a Public Works and Transportation Committee, I think members of that committee should ask questions more about what's going on, why we're doing a road project, and if something else is going to be done instead. So I think that we need to have another conversation for this, allow the people to hear the whole story from Jeff Ronaldson, and as well as give the people from the community the opportunity to speak again. Thank you.
Member Freeman.
Thank you. So I do remember this conversation. I remember all of this conversation. And one of the things that I remember is that the decision to widen this road was based on the number of vehicles that run up and down this road, and it still meets that threshold. It is also a safety issue, and I have actually driven it more than once at this point in my life, and it is a safety issue. And by widening it would be safer for the residents on that road. So I will not be in favor of pulling this off the plan. Thank you.
Member Van Dyne, or Speaker Van Dyne.
Thank you. I just maybe just try to clarify some of the comments or one comment. I do believe that the IDOT did do a study recently on 143rd after 159th Street was complete. And also the county did their own study. And those studies show that the traffic count on 143rd is 3,000 vehicles per day more than what warrants for a 5-lane system. So I just wanted to clarify that. And I will be making some further comments after this vote. Thank you.
Member Butler.
Yeah, I would like a clarification on that because the way I remembered it was a little different.
Member,
I remembered that the predicted traffic was higher than the actual traffic on a later study.
I'm going to get, Mr. Ronaldson, do you mind coming up here? And maybe you can address some of the, and we're just, I guess this is appropriate. I mean, okay, because we're, I'm making sure we're not getting off track. So yeah, if you'd like to first answer Mr. Butler's question, anything else, that you have heard that you want to clarify, please feel free.
Madam Executive, sure. County Board members, your question on ADT, I believe that's what you were asking about, traffic volumes, daily traffic volumes. Yeah, so not sure exactly what study or numbers you're referring to, but I can relay that since 159th Street was done, 2019 timeframe, that traffic volumes on the website for IDOT around 12,300 for 143rd Street. After 159th Street is done, 2023, another count was taken, it's 15,300. So there's a 3,000 vehicle increase since 159th Street was done. So whether 159th Street is done or not is not the driving factor for 143rd. Our projections were based on what traffic would come to 143rd. So 159, 2 miles away, is not directly impacted. Now, it's a regional road, so there is some impact, but there were still projections on what we would see on 143rd. So even though Homer Glen is staying at the same population, and you can see that in the census data, it is the same number. I don't know the exact number, but it's the same. 143rd Street is still increasing. So there is a regional growth, and that's why we're looking to improve the regional arterial roadway. Other comments necessary, like for the schools that we're impacting, where there's only one school on the road we're looking at, and that is Reed School. There's a school over closer to Bell Road we're not impacting with this particular project. The Bobby Noonan Daycare Center has actually already settled. There's no issue there. The Reed School, we are not impacting their U-shaped driveway in front. We are, of course, impacting their driveways at the very front, coming in and out. But the circular driveway, we are not impacting there. There are a few other comments with the golf course. In the end game, we are hitting one sand trap. We're going to impact temporarily. A tee box, we're going to impact temporarily. So in the end, we are going to negotiate those impacts with the golf course, of course, and work that out. But in the end, the golf course will remain, in our opinion, whole. If there are other comments, I believe there's probably some other comments. So those are like the big ones I've heard that I want to get the facts out that are not quite factual. So if there's other questions, I'll defer back to the chair.
And I'm hitting them by the order of how people are pressing their buttons. So please be patient as I connect numbers to people. Mr. Revis, you still have your on. You have questions regarding this now? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I was originally discussing about our conversation in committee about adding a line to the bottom about this is just a plan, an aspirational. I forget exactly what we determined what we were going to put there in committee, but I need confirmation if we did we make that change?
Member, yeah, and I think we did, Speaker Van Dyne can.
I can address that for you, Mr. Revis. Mr. Balich had asked me if that would be a possibility to put on an agenda. I said absolutely. That topic will be on next month's Transportation Committee, and the committee can decide what verbiage they want and whether they want to pass it or not. And Mr. Balich was very okay with that solution.
Oh, okay,
And you'll be
great.
chairing that meeting. Thank you.
Good to know. Thank you.
If I may just add real quickly, we did change the column heading. It's estimated cost. So it's not just amount, it's estimated.
And that's on this.
That is on the new one.
Okay. So I guess the reason I bring this up after I wasn't going to talk about wait for the full discussion is because that matters for what Member Balich's main concern is. He, from what it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't want something that is just a estimation or, aspiration plan that we're going to strive towards to be something that he has a vote, follow him. And it's, Steve Balich voted for this X amount of times. Meanwhile, he was just voting for the plan. And I think that's a good change for all of us. So for me personally, I don't know if I can support the motion on the floor right now to remove the 143rd Street project entirely, but I do support, something that provides a little bit of coverage on this very detailed plan that many things change frequently on. So, that's just my 2 thoughts on it. Thank you.
Member Richmond?
143rd Street is in my district and in Steve's district. I've driven it. I mean, it's just another 2-lane road that's in the county with a few more houses around it. But I think what we're looking at, or, we're looking at the traffic count, we're looking at that the numbers are up. The population hasn't changed, but I think what has happened is the fact that parents are more driving their kids to school or driving them to events. This is just local traffic. This isn't, people cutting through or that. I think the minute that we open it up, we are going to open it up to more people cutting through, which in turn is going to help the people cutting through, but that does not help anyone that lives in Homer Glen. I think what it's going to do is have a significant impact on their lifestyle and their way of life, and the things that they value most is their country atmosphere. So I'm not for this. I'll be a no on moving this forward the way it is. Thank you.
Member Bullock?
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please explain like the ramifications? So let's say we vote 143rd out of the plan. What then happens to that stretch of road? Who then is in charge of that stretch of road? Who's responsible for it? Accidents happen. Like what is the ramification of taking that vote?
The roadway will remain a county highway regardless of what you're going to be doing with the plan. It's still a county highway. That's our responsibility. The Homer Glen Police Department, actually the Sheriff's Department, will enforce the rules out there, so they'll respond to safety issues. If it's removed from the plan, I don't know what that exactly means because we still have the active contract in hand, so I don't know what that necessarily means. I would have to have a discussion with the State's Attorney's Office what that means. I mean, it is a plan, but we do have an active contract. But the road does remain ours at this time, unless it's changed.
I know it, sorry. Is there the opportunity for Homer Glen to annex that part of the road and call it theirs and decide to do what they would like to do with it?
Yeah, the annexation doesn't have any bearing on whether it's a county highway or not. It does on a township road. It automatically becomes by state law a municipal street. It would take a jurisdictional transfer agreement, so an agreement between the village, the county, and the state of Illinois to transfer jurisdiction of one of our roads to a municipality.
Member Hickey?
Hi, thank you, County Executive. Mr. Ronaldson, isn't the plan kind of how we share the information with the public at large?
Correct. We share
Okay.
it with the public and our municipal and state partners.
Okay, so if we were to take something out of there and yet still be working on it, I mean, wouldn't that be a matter of transparency that we would be reducing transparency to our taxpayers?
I'm not sure I have an answer for that. I don't know.
Okay, I think it would. I think for, the people that do look at this stuff, they're hoping that it is an exhaustive list of what we're doing. And I'm listening to this discussion and I really appreciate that there are, high emotions and high feelings around 143rd Street. But the fact of the matter is it is in the plan. And things change, and if we don't put it down on paper, I think that we're not doing the service to the public that we serve. So thank you very much.
We're going to back to you, Mr. Balich.
Yeah, I got to clarify some things here. The first thing that everyone needs to realize is that if this road goes through, we're creating a hardship for everybody that lives on 143rd Street, but also the three schools, not one school, three schools. Okay, you got Reed School, which is just been remodeled and expanded, and that school will have to be taken down and removed back. Yeah, they will, because the road will be too close to the school. And then you got Hadley, which is another school, and the Homer Glen portion. And that school, they were trying to sell their property because they said that the road would be 10 feet from their school and it would be dangerous for their kids. Then you have Bobby Newman Preschool, which has been there for God knows how many years. And that school will end up having it in their backyard also. So when you look at this stuff, okay, you're creating a hardship, number one. And then my advice for everybody that lives there is to sue the pants off of the road district and the county for a hardship, because we've been told that if you have an extreme hardship, that's something that qualifies that you can't do it. Remember, we had that meeting with the state's attorney, and everybody was here, but the state's attorney said you have to listen to a public hearing, and if there's a hardship, well, every single person can call that a hardship. So Orland Park does not want this for the same reasons Homer Glen don't want it. And I guarantee you that this is going to be an ongoing problem until it's settled, and it won't be settled probably in the next month, but we got 6 months, and then it's going to be settled. One way or the other, it'll be settled, because our county executive is going to make sure that we have some talks and we come up with a solution. And I trust that she'll do a good job. Like how you throw it in your lap. But anyway, I think that removing it from the plan right now doesn't do any harm at all, except protecting people that are surrounding that district from voting on a plan that they're going to be accused of voting for the project on going forward. And that, again, that's a lot of people. There's 6 of us that are all involved with that. And the greater part of that road is not in the city of Homer Glen. So you always refer to Homer Glen. The greater part is in the township. 3.6 miles, if I'm not mistaken, is in the township. Our road commissioner, when I was a supervisor, took it, and we actually, if we would have won the election, we were going to ask for a
All right,
jurisdictional
let's stay
transfer
focused
of
here.
that
Yeah.
road. And that would have made a big difference too, because the township could do that. So I know the number's 3.6 because that's what's in the document that we created, but we lost the election, so it didn't happen.
Can I have you wrap up, sir?
I'm wrapped
All
up
right.
now.
All right, thank you. We have Member Williams.
Thank you. If we don't if we fix the road and don't put something, don't we have to have a plan in order, no matter what we do to the road? Wouldn't we need to have some type of plan, even if it was a three lane?
If we want to build a 3-lane cross-section, we have to have it in the plan. I'm not sure.
Well,
We can
yeah, it was
leave it
mentioned-
alone,
it was
build something in
mentioned that
between,
the-
or build a 5-lane.
Well, it was mentioned that there might be some agreement of a 3-lane instead of a 5-lane. But wouldn't either one of them would have to be part of somebody's plan, right? We couldn't just do it without a plan.
Yes. We
Correct.
need that in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have Member Trenier. Do you want to close since you're the chair of this? I'll let you close because I'm going to let Mr. Oxley, and then I'll go to you. I'll let Mr. Oxley. Oh, no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't want to talk to me? No.
No, I enjoy this.
Thank you again. One of the things that we're looking at is at Reed School, which I'm familiar with, we're going to shorten the queening spaces for the bus parking, for the bus pickup. And I think we'll have the same at Hadley School. Bobby Noonan's, I don't know anything about, but we have to be cognizant of this. In the end result, Jeff, you're doing your job. You have to pre-plan out and all this, and I understand that. But the end result is, if this goes forward, all the people that are on the county board will get hung for it by the people in those districts. If it doesn't go forward, we'll be the heroes, but I'm not trying to be a hero here, I'm trying to do what's right. And we need to know exactly what we're looking at, and is there a compromise available? Maybe so. So that's where we need to go with it.
Before I close with you, I agree. I'm going to just kind of address Mr. Balich. Like, I am more than willing to have conversations with anyone on this topic. I've had numerous sidebars. I've had numerous group projects. Again, that is not an issue. We can continue to have conversations, on this, especially further discussions that we have had. I want to say personally, representing all the districts, I'm concerned when we remove things from a plan that has been long-term, that we are jeopardizing ourselves with our future for, you're right. I just said, I'm worried about jeopardizing our future plans moving forward. But I can assure you, whether or not this goes forward or not, we will continue to have conversation with people who are interested in talking about this road. So with that, we will let our chairperson,
I just
Dan.
wanted to say that my understanding, and Jeff, this is really a question for you, whether it's a 3-lane, with the turn lane, or a 5-lane, my understanding is we're taking almost as much land. Is that fair to say?
In most of the parcels, we will be hitting them for right of way regardless. Maybe not as much, but we will still be hitting most of the properties.
That's what I thought. My other concern is that I think we would be creating a hardship if we did remove this from our plan. Not only because we look wishy-washy ourselves, that we don't know what we're doing, we're going to create a problem going forward in the future with other grants that we apply for. People are going to be hesitant to give us money if we're not going to follow through on what we say we're going to do. But we also, by just removing this outright, if that gets publicized, and I'm sure that it would, you're going to be giving people false hope that we're just not going to do this because it's not in our plan. And I don't know necessarily that that's true. And the other thing regarding the traffic study and the concern that this is all just local traffic dropping their kids off on and off, I guess I would have to know when the study was done. I do know it makes at least according to some authorities, it makes a difference if you do the traffic study in July or August versus doing it during the school year. But again, without any evidence, that's just anecdotal comments, oh, I think it was only people running their kids to school or a kid's activity at school. And we don't know that. I don't know how this traffic study was done, but ones that I'm familiar with usually go on for several days over a 24-hour period. And I guess it is best practice to do it during the school year. I don't know when this one was done, but I am definitely in support of keeping this in the plan. And I hope that my fellow board members will agree.
Do you have it?
I would don't know the dates of when they were actually taken other than the years. But when they do traffic counts, they use like seasonal adjustment factors. So they have formulas and things that figure out if you take it in June, it's plus or minus this. And, so they take those into account. But there's one other caution. If it is taken out of our transportation improvement plan, the federal dollars that are allocated for it rely on what we present. So if it's taken out of the plan,
We lose them.
I do not know what they will do with that because they rely on the county's position on the project, whether they keep the money in there or not. So I'm just cautioning that as well, while all these other discussions are happening, what could happen there.
Okay.
Member Richmond?
The information I saw was done in December on a school day.
Correct. The one count that we took. IDOT, I don't know when IDOT
Yeah,
took their counts, and that's
yeah.
when they're posted on their website.
I mean, I just
Yeah,
wanted
ours
to
is
answer
December.
the information that I've
It's
seen.
important. Member Berkowitz?
Thank you, Madam Executive. Jeff, 143rd in the plan, is it in the plan as a 5-lane project? Is it designated already 5 lanes? Or
It is. There's a description in the back of the plan. You can read on all our projects descriptions of what they are, and it is, yes.
Okay. I
multi-lane.
know I've read it, but I wasn't
There's a lot
sure
in there.
because there's so much conversation. So are we able to just amend that to a 3-lane? Can't we bring this forward and amend the 5-lane to a 3-lane?
Not,
In
we're,
the
yeah,
plan.
not at this point.
I'm
Well, that's
asking-
okay. I'm going to
I'm
answer because
asking.
we're just voting on whether or not to remove this right now. If we're going to talk about redesigning this road, it'd have to be a whole nother discussion.
Okay.
They're just talking about
So
removing the
it-
plan.
So my question is after this vote, can this plan be amended to a 3-lane widening? And that's a yes, it can be.
Well, we bring this forward to you in June every year. I'm sure it's your prerogative to amend the plan at any time. It's a plan.
Okay. So after this vote, then that would be the time to put that motion out there to bring it forward to change the 143rd scope of that project from a 5-lane to a 3-lane. Because I know you were here too. It took hours of your life, your day and time, days and evenings. I really admire your professionalism and everything you do, Jeff. I know this has been a lot of time for you, but I do remember hearing hundreds of people say that they were okay with a 3-lane. A 3-lane widening versus.
Do you have a
5
question?
lane.
I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you.
So that's
Yeah,
why
do you have a
I would
question?
like to proceed, then we vote on this and then bring it for, then bring that motion forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second to remove the 143rd portion of the transportation improvement plan from to remove it from the plan. I said that correctly. Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to remove 143rd Street from the plan.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist. Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier.
No.
Van Dyne.
No.
With 12 in the negative, the motion fails. So now we are going back to the original motion to approve the transportation improvement plan. So we had a motion, we have a second, we have a discussion on that. Hold on a second. Discussion on the plan. Mr. Butler.
I'd like to make a motion to refer back to the Public Works and Transportation Department,
Refer back what, sir?
the plan.
Oh, the plan, okay.
Second that.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Repeat what you just said, sir.
I would like to make a motion to refer this plan, the master plan for transportation, back to Public Works and Transportation
Committee?
Department.
I don't think we can make a motion to return anything to a department.
Well, doesn't, okay, committee.
Am I correct with that? Yeah, okay. Okay, so
And
we
that
have,
they would- and then I'm assuming that they would refer back to the department who made the plan.
so we have a motion now to refer the entire plan back to committee. We have a first motion, seconded by Revis. Discussion on going back to, go ahead, you can, going back to committee. Mr. Butler.
Yeah, so I read the plan and I understand that we do have to have a plan so that, we all understand what's coming up. But what I didn't see on the plan was as many details as I would like to see and where the priorities were. I would like to know, for instance, when we decide to put a road in here, is it going to be this year, next year? Have they taken into consideration all the costs there were some costs that I think were not addressed in here. And I would just like to see much more detail. For instance, when they decide to widen a road with a pipeline next to it, what is the cost of relocating that pipeline? Are they even contacted? Or is that something where we decide to do it and we just figure, hey, we're the government. When we want to do something, we do it. And whatever the cost is, the taxpayers will burden that cost. Because that just seems the way a lot of times the thought process goes. So, I want to know, did the pipelines get notified? Did we get an estimate of cost of how much these pipelines will cost to move? Because we will have to pay for that.
Thank you. Member Ogalla on referring back. You're on.
So I would like to talk about that, for an instance, regarding the cost, and maybe Jeff can come up and answer a question that I have. My question is this: if there are two pipelines that are there and they have to be moved, can I ask that now? or-
Okay. I think we're getting
Jeff-
to, are you just, okay. Can you?
Dan
can-
just mentioned it.
Yeah, can you, I think what we're trying to find out is kind of the planning work. How much estimation do you do, instead of getting specifics into imaginary things? I think the general question is, when you're making a plan, how grand is the conversation with some of these specifics?
So my question would be
Yeah.
about the pipelines specifically, because if there are pipelines there and they have to be moved for the project to proceed, and I don't know, maybe they'd have to be for the 3-lane too, I don't know. But if they have to move, I would make the assumption, and I'm probably correct here because the pipeline route won't change, that they will move it from wherever it is in the easement that they have from the property owner to a distance closer on the property owner's property.
Right. So if there's a pipeline that's in conflict with the road improvements, it would have to move, but we avoid that with every possible opportunity we have, because that's very, very expensive. So oftentimes we'll see us slide our road a little bit to avoid that. But the crossings we can't avoid oftentimes, so we'll have to do some relocation for that. So those dollars, you don't know that when you pick a new road. You don't know the dollars of a pipeline relocation because you haven't talked to them yet. So the early part of the project is that you meet with the utilities, you understand where they're at, and that's part of the development of the design plans. That's part of the whole process, why road improvements take 5-10 years. So that's early on. So we can throw a high number in there. So if you see in the plan something slated for construction in 2031, that's a pretty high estimate number, meaning it's not detailed. As we move through and get closer to where you see constructions 2026, those numbers are pretty solid. I mean, we're getting ready to let it, that we know what those are. So between that 0 time and the 5 or 10 year, we're talking those pipelines and understanding their costs. And as they come forward, there's a few things in the plan that shows utility costs. That's what those are. Whether it's NICOR pipeline, as those come out in the design. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen until probably halfway through the design, because the utilities aren't even going to talk to us until we have design to show them to see if they're even in conflict. So it's a design, it's a iterative process that we have. So the numbers, if it's slated for 2031, those numbers are pretty high level. If they're slated for 2026, those are pretty well dialed in.
Member Berkowitz? Hold on. There you go. Hold on. I got the wrong person. I'm flipping around with everyone. There you go.
So I was going to make that motion, but we will have to vote on what Dan brought forward first, correct?
We have a motion to refer it back to Public Transportation Committee.
Okay, thank you.
So we have Mr. Butler, do you have one more follow-up regarding the motion to refer back? Yes? All right. I don't know if you're on, sir.
So I guess what I'd like added to this plan so that I could approve it is I just need more details. I need traffic patterns, the amount of numbers that go through there, and then other possible solutions rather than just widening roads, there's just a lot more that I would like to see. And then some sort of sense of priority. And so we get a better timeline of what roads are being taken care of and now, and which ones are, left off.
Okay. Member Van Dyne, just remember, we're voting on referring it back to committee.
This
Member Van Dyne.
comment does refer
Okay.
to sending it back to committee. It was discussed 2 weeks ago, June 3rd, I believe. It came out of committee with one member voting against the plan. The other 6 were in favor. I'm not in favor of sending it back to committee. We've discussed this many times. I say we just go ahead and go along with the vote. And I want to remember the county board members that every year we do a 5-year plan. And Mr. Ronaldson has always asked county board members for their input. It's not set in stone. We do have another opportunity coming up soon to do the 26, 27 to 32 plan. So sending it back to committee is not an option for me. I'd rather just move forward today. Thank you.
Member Freeman?
He said what I was.
Okay, very good. We're done. All right. So we have a motion. We have a second. You are now voting on bringing it back to committee, the Transportation Improvement Plan. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist. Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
Eleven in the, yeah, 11 in the affirmative. The motion passes. Yeah. So it is referred back to committee.